Wakenya wenzangu hamjambo. Kenya oye. Asanteni sana, tuwashukuru. Fellow Kenyans, I am pleased today to lead the celebration of the 8th Mashujaa Day, a day that we have set aside to remember our heroes of the past. These are men and women of courage and patriotism who chose service over self. Men and women who have sacrificed themselves in one way or another for the sake of freedom, peace, and stability of this great nation. As their sons and daughters, we have a duty to remember them honorably. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what we gather to do today, for this day belongs to our heroes. We also gather to give thanks for the progress we have made on both the political and economic front. We are free to express our opinions without fear of retribution. We can move freely, live and work anywhere in our country without requiring a pass. And we too can vote to elect leaders of our choice. I wish to remind you that not so long ago, Kenyans of African origin could not vote until 1957. And even then, it was for only 8 seats in the legislature. Fellow Kenyans, these are precious rights. We enjoy them today because those who came before us chose to sacrifice even their own lives so that we can be a free people. Mashujaa Day is an opportunity to reflect on the meaning of true heroism and how each one of us can contribute to the prosperity and inclusivity of this country of ours. We can draw lessons from the men and women who won our freedom, not because they had superior weapons, but because they seized a common destiny. They understood their common enemy. They believed in one another. They shunned differences of tribe and tongue. And in the end, they won. These men and women endured great pain and suffering, and many paid the ultimate price. No words can express our gratitude to this generation. We can only honor them by defending the values and the cause for which they stood. We today remember and celebrate our freedom fighters and all those who supported the freedom struggle. Their bold resistance, rallying Kenyans against the colonialists, is a permanent reminder that injustice, however powerful it seems, will fail. We remember today's heroes also, who have made enormous contributions to enlarge the democratic space in Kenya. Their sacrifice for multi-party politics laid the foundation upon which we have developed our democracy. It now behoves us to zealously guard the democracy that we have inherited from these heroes. On other fronts, the late Professor Wangari Maathai, the late Professor Ali Mazrui, and other notable scholars and researchers have brought honor to our motherland. We also celebrate our sportsmen and women who continue to bring glory to our motherland in different championships across the world. Also, dear Kenyans, daily we also see acts of heroism, and we also need to celebrate them. We remember Mary Mukaya, who saved fellow students from the Moi Girls fire at the cost of her own life. May God rest her soul and that of her colleagues in peace. And may her name and her example of selflessness be a shining example to us all. Mary's actions during that tragedy provide poignant lessons for us to reflect upon at this moment in our nation's history. At the tender age of 14, she sacrificed for the sake of others. Mary's great acts and courage will forever be engraved in our hearts. And all of us should emulate her good example of thinking of others first before self. Let me also today recognize Mr. Joseph Charo Karisa of Rabai Sub-County, who is another great Kenyan. He donated his 2 acres of family land for the construction of Jimba Water Pan. For his good gesture, today, 5,000 people and over 40,000 livestock will now realize a long-held dream of receiving a reliable water supply. Mr. Charo is a hero and a role model in his own community and indeed in the entire country. He offered what he could afford to end perennial water and food problems in his community. His deed was not driven by a need for fame, recognition, or gain, but rather the desire to serve his community by providing land for a water pan to solve their daily problems. Fellow Kenyans, there are numerous cases of Kenyans who have gone out of their way to create impact in the lives of their fellow Kenyans. And their acts have touched the hearts of other Kenyans. My challenge to the rest of us is to endeavor to touch at least the heart of another Kenyan before 2017 ends. That is what true brotherhood means. As the Swahili adage reminds us, undugu ni kufana, sio kufanana. I ask you, fellow Kenyans, today, reach out and touch another Kenyan's life. It will be the best way to celebrate Mashujaa Day. Today, Kenya requires more people like Mary Mukaya and Joseph Charo, and you can be one of them. If we act for the common good of our fellow Kenyans, this country would be a better place for us all. I indeed look forward to that time when Kenyans shall extend a hand of help to fellow brothers and sisters without regard to ethnicity, race, religion, age, or creed. Then and only then will we realize national unity that our forefathers envisioned. It is sad that we have not always lived to the ideals of our forefathers, and starting this moment, let each one of us work towards this desired goal. It is to this ideal I wish Kenyans, and God willing, to dedicate a second term. I urge every Kenyan of goodwill to join me in this noble undertaking of building a united nation where every Kenyan finds space to prosper and flourish. Fellow Kenyans, as we reflect on our Mashujaa Day, my administration acknowledges that we must correctly identify and recognize our heroes and heroines. So far, using the criteria prescribed in the Heroes Act of 2014, we have honored over 600 heroes. We are planning more heroes this coming December from all parts of the country. I wish to announce that we plan shortly to establish a Heroes Council, and this council will be responsible for identifying and coming up with solutions to issues of welfare and support to our heroes and heroines. Fellow Kenyans, turning now to elections, we have recently emerged from a hard-fought election where I commend Kenyans for conducting ourselves most maturely and electing leaders of their choice. We as a nation chose to remain peaceful and allowed our democracy to prevail. We resisted all forms of incitement, and our conduct showed that we are indeed a mature democracy. We proved to the entire world our ability to manage our affairs. Indeed, this is one occasion where we showed that we are all heroes, and I take this opportunity to thank Kenyans for this show of maturity. As we prepare for the presidential election on the 26th of October 2017, it is important that we maintain peace just as we did and have done before. Voting to elect leaders of our choice is a right that was hard won by our forefathers and which we should guard jealously. To those threatening and intimidating the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, its staff and other entities, this must cease forthwith. We must trust, nurture, and safeguard our institutions to enable them to grow and perform their functions. Fellow Kenyans, as we have journeyed to our shared destiny, we have many challenges. And we have, by the grace of God, overcome some of them, while others continue to engage us. Weaknesses emerged in our post-independence constitution, but as a nation determined to reach its destiny, we elected and conferred upon ourselves a new constitution after more than 20 years of engagement. This constitution is today hailed as one of the most progressive globally. It provides for freedom of assembly, peaceful demonstrations, and free expression of opinion. But we are saddened that these new freedoms are at times being abused to perpetuate impunity and create anarchy. I urge all Kenyans to be guided by the Constitution and to abide by the rule of law. Our Constitution guarantees all Kenyans the right to demonstrate peacefully, and my government will uphold this right. Let me, however, hasten to add that this right will be guaranteed to those operating within the confines of the law. As a modern state, Kenya must be guided by the rule of law. Fellow Kenyans, following the annulment of the presidential elections and the subsequent ordering of fresh elections within 60 days, I offered myself for re-election. As a candidate, I once again humbly appeal to all Kenyans to vote me back to office for another term of 5 years. My administration's track record during its first term is visible to all. With your continued support, we can collectively achieve more and better results in our second term. Our manifesto has outlined what we promise to deliver during this term, and some of the plans have already been concluded. A case in point is the provision of free day secondary education for all. Already, my administration has set aside Kenya shillings 25 billion for the program, which will commence in January of 2018. It is for this and other programs that my administration has planned that I seek your vote during the coming election next week. Fellow Kenyans, the coming election demands that we remain calm and peaceful. We must desist from divisive acts which our enemies can use to harm us. Fellow Kenyans, we are at a historic crossroads, and true heroes are made in a time and a place such as this. Heroes who preach and safeguard peace, men and women who put the interests of the nation ahead of their personal ambitions. For those who thrive in chaos and relish anarchy, your days are numbered. The law will take its course and sanction you accordingly. We must always remember that an election is a one-time event in our political cycle and must never be allowed to divide Kenyans. Elections will come and go, but Kenya remains. Indeed, it is my sincere prayer that it should not divide us. For those planning to vote and those staying away, I urge you to extend a hand of friendship to your brothers and sisters, to your neighbors, and respect each other's choice. I must again reiterate that my administration is ready to counter any threats to our national security during and after the elections. Towards this end, our security organs have been enhanced and appropriately deployed to maintain law and order. The law will apply equally to all, regardless of social class, political position, and no one will be spared. Having had an uninterrupted electoral cycle for the second time, my administration will not allow a repeat of the painful past where lives and properties were lost. We as a people vowed never to repeat the regrettable events that almost sunk us as a nation. We must therefore wake up and say no to any misleading leader out to plunge Kenya into chaos. Kenyans have the choice and the means of resisting such leaders. Fellow Kenyans, our neighbor Somalia recently suffered a terrorist attack where many hundreds of innocent lives were lost. I take this opportunity on behalf of all Kenyans to send our heartfelt condolences to the people of Somalia. The attack is a sobering reminder of the dangerous times we live in. I continue to urge all Kenyans to remain vigilant and report any suspicious persons bent on undermining our security from within and without our borders. At this juncture, I wish to salute and celebrate our disciplined forces for braving all risks to keep all of us secure. Unfortunately, in the process, some of them have lost their lives in the line of duty. They have dedicated their lives to securing and keeping Kenya peaceful and stable, and their sacrifices can never be compensated in any terms except by the honor that we give them and their families. So today, I salute all our men and women in uniform Fellow Kenyans, as I conclude, and recognizing that Kenya is a God-fearing nation, I have called for national prayers, and it is imperative that we collectively pray for our beloved nation. And consequently, I have declared Sunday the 22nd of October 2017 a National Prayer Day. And I call upon all Kenyans to converge in their mosques, churches, temples, and other places of worship and pray for our nation. I conclude by requesting all of us to turn out in large numbers to exercise your constitutional and democratic right on Thursday, the 26th of this month. Your vote will be your contribution to the dream of our forefathers for a peaceful and prosperous Kenya. True Kenyan heroes will cast their vote on the 26th of this month. This is the only way we can make Kenya great and guarantee a future for all our children. I wish to take this opportunity to also join the Hindu community in celebrating Diwali and to wish them a Happy New Year. Tukimaliza wenzangu, sitaki niongeze zaidi, nimesema yangu yote. Tuwasema sisi tuwataka taifa letu la Kenya liweze liende mbele. Hatuwezi kuishi in what is called a permanent state of elections. Our economy needs to move on, and we must rid this nation of that uncertainty. And it is indeed my appeal to every Kenyan: exercise your democratic right on the 26th of October. Those who wish to vote, our guarantee that there will be adequate security for you to carry out your democratic right and constitutional right to vote. Those who wish not to vote, I promise you that your rights not to vote shall equally be respected. But we must remember that no right supersedes the other. Those who wish to vote must be allowed to vote, just as those who wish not to vote must be allowed not to vote. But our country must move forward. Our country must move towards her destiny. And that destiny shall be decided by none other than the people of this great Republic of Kenya. Kwa hayo machache na mengi, nawatakia kila mmoja wenu laheri. Happy Mashujaa Day. God bless you. God bless Kenya. Asanteni sana.
Nitaomba sote kwa heshima tusimame kwa wimbo.